Howdy guys. Today I'm going to do something a little different. Do a little doodle live. Well, not live this time. Kind of practicing for maybe doing a real live video. But in this case I just mean no time lapse. Just kind of go through my process in real time. I don't know if there's really a good word for what I'm about to do. Real time seems like it would still be live. But in this case I just mean, like I said, no time lapse. Kind of got an idea. Do a little human brain action. I was listening to some 21 Pilots, and this was on Pandora, I believe, and it shows the lyrics as you're listening, and I think their second line in the song is "There's a stomach inside my brain." Well, that made me think, I want to draw a brain with a big old mouth and tongue, maybe some eyes, I don't know. But when there's a mouth, there's typically some sort of stomach. So let's get going on this. Alright, let's see here. Kind of gonna do the rough image of a brain. So let's go with big old shape like this. Brains are quite lumpy and kind of have two major segments. I'm not an anatomy expert, so don't ask me the terminology here, but let's get those lobes going. Maybe a nice little brain stem hanging out to the side here, which in this case I guess would be part of the digestive tract of this animal. So now we've got basic brain shape. Let's add the mouth. Should big wide open mouth? I think so. Kind of a lazy mouth. And since it's two segments, let's make the mouth break off into two segments as well. There we go. Oh yeah. I'm liking that. Do a little erase action on this side. Get my shape going. Yep. Alright, now we need a big old floppy tongue. First, I kind of want to draw in some gums. And some teeth. My phone's getting blown up right now. That's always fun while you're trying to record. Holy macaroni. End of the world or something. I don't know. There we go. I like that. Okay, so now that we have what's going to be in front of the tongue, we can kind of start drawing in the tongue shape here. And as I like to typically do, the tongue is going to come out, kind of come up in some really weird shape here, and then back in. There we go. Okay, now I kind of want to do some eyes, but let's make it a little different and just kind of make them some hollow areas where eyes would be. That way it's kind of like it's this blind entity just reaching out into the depths, trying to snag something with its tongue. Yeah. Make it weird. There we go. I don't like that. Going in with the pencil is kind of nice because you can make a bunch of weird shapes and then kind of find the line you like so that when you jump in with the ink, you're ready to go. You just pick the one that looks best and you darken that one in. The rest can get erased. And this little segment here is kind of looking like a skeletal nose area, and I like that, so we're gonna enhance those lines a bit. A little something like that. I feel like maybe even the tongue should have kind of brain-like folds to it. Because it's part of a brain, just an extension of this current brain we're drawing. So let's add some of those lines in like that. I like that. Okay. I think we're getting close to inking some of this in. That was quick. Add a membrane here. There we go. Ah, man, hollow eye sockets. I kind of want some eyes in here though. So maybe we draw some weird extension from the brain with the eye kind of hanging out up top. That'll be its main source of vision. Now we're not just some blind thing in the dark. I know that's what I had said earlier, but I want it to be able to see its victims and its friends. This guy's got a friend or two. Okay. Go up here. There we go. Alright. Let's do some inkage. Gotta get it out of my travel sunglasses case where I bring all my markers and pens around in. Because I got my few pens that I really like to use. Alright, I'm going to use my 8 Zig pen to get in the good stuff. Ooh, we're going to make this like a tube. Oh yeah, I like the tubes. Alright, it's kind of the, I think you would call that the cerebellum. Like I said earlier, I'm no anatomy expert. I struggle with just regular words, let alone fancy scientific ones. And this thing kind of looks like a jack-o'-lantern. Not the biggest fan of that. But it's okay. These are just horrible doodles anyway. There's no real award ceremony I'm hoping to prepare a speech for. You know. Oh, I'm messing this eye up. Kind of painted myself into a corner here. Let's fix this. there. I like to have a little bit of bulbous to that area of the eye. Bulbosity. Pretty sure that's the technical term for it. Now that I got my bulbosity of the eye, I can kind of go in, do these brain curls and curves and bumps and all that fun brain related curvatureness. That's the fun part. Let's get this nose area in. Kind of a cleft palate look to it, which is kind of neat. There we go. That'll be kind of the gums area of this. There's an extra tooth. Oh yeah, Toothy Grin. Toothy Grin McGavinport. That's his temporary name until I get something better. Get some brain shapes going here, because this is really just kind of a caved in area. No eye present, just the area where an eye could have been, vestigial eye hole, if you will. More brain folds. Gotta have a lot of those because this is a brain. The more folds the better, I hear. So this guy is intelligent. Let's start coming in here with the tooths. Tooths. Teeth. Yep. Still got it. Okay. Oh yeah. Look at that thing coming along. There's our membrane. So we need to have the end of the mouth. There we go. Let's get our tongue going. I typically add in the bumps when it comes to inking time. Don't need to do all of those details with the pencil, because then you'll spend way too much time on the pencil and you never know, you might just want to erase it. So why do all that work? Let's add some droopiness there. Yeah. Okay. Let's add the back side of the mouth. That area is wide open. Okay, where are we going from here? Alright. I think that might be enough to start coloring this little guy. Now, what colors do we want to go with? Brains are typically a pinkish. So let's start with a pinkish color. Do my R301 color. It's kind of a peach color. Figure that's, let's erase some of these lines. You don't have to erase the blue that much. It doesn't show up as much as a regular graphite, but with the lighter colors, it really shows through. So I want that gone. Going away. See you later. Thanks for all your work you did, though. But time to go back into the background. Alright. Dang it. Missed a few. Not that that would hurt anything. Alright, let's just do everything in this initial color. With these markers, typically don't color all the way to the edge because I find given a couple seconds to do their magic, they will flow to the edge on their own. See, I'll just go there and see, watch, whoosh, kind of flows in. Keeps me from going outside of the lines, like right there. Horrible. Can't put this in a gallery now. Just kidding. It would go in a gallery just fine. I would just have to come up with some sort of artsy description for it that explains my emotions or something like that. People really dig awesome explanations. You could do like a single line across the paper and call it like solitude or something, and people would flip out. Talk about how deep it is. And maybe it is. Maybe it's my problem that I don't have awesome descriptions for my things. I can't express my emotions properly, and so I'm jealous of artists that can, and so I have this deep resentment for them. Or none of that's true, and I really just think it's funny that they do that. I don't know. Anyway, this pink is nice. I love this color. One of my favorites. And I started kind of dark on this one. I think on one of my other brains I drew, I went with a kind of a lighter color first. Came in with this one as the mid-tone, and then came in with an even... Dang it. I was going to do the gums a different color, but it's too late now. I am dedicated. I could just come in with the blue and make the gums a purple. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Top and bottom. Okay, there we go. Yep, you're getting it to eyeball. Kind of cold in the basement right now. My hands are kind of not shaking, but just kind of chilly. Alright, R503 time. That's this color. It's a berry pink color, so we're gonna kind of, let's figure out where we're going with that. Let's just test it out on here on a wider area. Yeah, that should work. We'll darken this guy up, kind of darken this area up. Not the whole thing, just the shadowed area. And we're going to start adding some shadows into these folds, just to give them a little bit more pop. Little pop-a-roni. And I'll come in with an even darker one to add more of said pop. So maybe I'll go a little broader with this one. That way I have some room to add in a darker line. Yeah, that's what I'll do. It's all kind of just playing around with it while you draw. There's nothing set in stone. Some of it comes with a little bit of practice. Most of it is by accident. I guess it's all by accident until you find something you like, and then you start repeating it and seeing where you can do more of that. See? That eye socket is dark now. This one's a little different, but it's closer to us, so we'll add a little bit of weird details to that. But let's keep doing the folds. Get those nice and dark in some areas. Let's add in some, let's do this whole bottom dark. And add in some details there, some deets. This whole thing is going to be that color because I decided to. I'll add in some lines there because that has a bunch of straight lines when you look at those in real life. never seen a human brain in real life, but I've seen other brains in my travels. Okay, there's a good start. See how that is definitely looking like a jack-o'-lantern. That's funny. I still don't like that it does. Oh, but I shouldn't be putting those ideas in your head. You can decide for yourself what it looks like. And there's nothing more liked by an artist than somebody coming up to him and saying, hey, your stuff looks like this. Or so I hear. I kind of like it because I do the same thing. But I've heard other people go, well, you shouldn't throw your interpretations on it. That's kind of rude. But I kind of think that's what art is all about. It's a bunch of squishy brains looking at something totally different because their opinions are different and coming up with their own conclusions. And then since we are a social creature, sharing those opinions with others. And if we're lucky, getting some validations from a stranger. We all like that. Okay, so there's that. Let's go in with a really dark color. What are we going to go with? Oh, I'm looking at my handy dandy color swatch palette that I made with all these markers. Cannot tell you enough how handy that is, because just looking at the pen tip, that's ridiculous. Man, I kind of want maybe this to be some sort of neon-y blue inside the mouth. B204 is a great color. That's the lighter of my blues. Here, I'll show you. So I typically like using this guy on the tongue, and then 205 to kind of add in the dark area. So maybe I'll do those for the tongue, and something crazy. It should be darker, but we're going crazy with this. We're going to use like an R607 inside the mouth. See how that turns out. Alright, let's do our tongue here. Typically I would do some stippling here. And maybe I still will, but since this is in real time, nobody wants to sit here and watch me for any longer than 30 seconds. In fact, I have a sneaking suspicion some people just skip to the end to see what the final product is. I may be guilty of doing that myself on some other people's channels, but I try not to because, you know, watch time is important on YouTube, and they typically have some hidden gems in there in the middle of what they're talking about. Hopefully they're talking about something. Sometimes they just do a quick old sketch and talk about nothing. And then I'm sitting there like, well, I didn't gain anything from that. Except the end product. And maybe a few neat little techniques that they do in the middle of it that I can learn from. And those are cool too. I like that. I'm just saying there could be more to a something than just the final art product. What am I doing? This is not looking good. Maybe I can fix it with some line work. That does tend to fix a lot of things, a lot of mistakes, because then you've got these weird blobby colors, but then you can come in and go, let's not do the 8, my 3 is running out of ink. We'll go with the 5. Now I can like start adding in some bumps. See, now it doesn't matter where I put all those blue dots. You kind of fill in the space with your brain. have it. Nice looking tongue there. What color did I say? Oh yeah, R607 I think I was going to do inside the mouth. Let's do that. See what we like about it and what we don't like. Because we can always change it. And it's a 50-50 shot of making it better or worse if you decide to change it. And then you really gotta get creative if you make it worse. How are you going to fix it then? Because then you've got a 50-50 shot of making it worse again. But I kind of like this color, so I think we're going to stick with it. Yeah, that does look good. Now, I said I was going to deepen some of these areas. Check that out. You don't have to add much. The dark areas really shouldn't be that often, in my opinion. We can darken some of that area up, get some going there. All along this crease, we're going to darken that. Some of these little valleys are going to get some darkening. What are we going to do with that eyeball? Oh, gotta darken that. That's a nice big overlap. So the overlapping areas, you really want to add those shadows in, make those really come out. And in this tube, we want it to be darker too. There we go. Let's change the gums up. Let's think about what we want to do with those gums. I'm thinking, let's add a yellow to them. Just to make them different than everything else. Kind of lost on what shape this is. I have two structures here, but only one here. So do I just commit, or do I make it two structures as well by doing a little something like that? That'll have to do. Let's get these guys yellowed up. And then I think on the teeth, I'm going to do like a warm gray. Nothing, a little gray teeth kind of make things weird. Oh, I'm just going to do it as like shadows. Let's do that. Kind of rubbing that blue in, see how it kind of went away? If I just keep adding ink to that area, there we go. You can kind of massage away a little bit of the mistake. Not much, just something I've kind of noticed. Let's add a little gray into here as well. Kind of make that a little darker. Same thing with some of this area in here. I'm going to just darken it up because this is more towards the back of the mouth. That warm gray kind of just darkens up the color you've already got, which is pretty handy. So like you can do things like that. Add in some shapes to your gums. Maybe at the bottom of the teeth because that area of the gum is decaying. That's what I picture when I do that. Make that a bit darker. Maybe we can add in like a shadow or puddle. Either way, I like it. And we can make this appear to be kind of above the ground and then on the ground again. Like keeping that bit of shadow like that. Go in with the even darker gray up in the crevasses, as they are called. Alright, eyeball, what are we gonna do? Let's, I'm not even gonna go in with pencil, I'm just gonna commit. Yep, you get a little tiny black hole there. And since we're fond of yellow eyes lately, we're gonna do the yellow eye. Oh yeah, look at that come along. And then I like to add in a ring of orange, but I think I'm gonna do that on the outside of the black line. Let's see how that turns out. Kind of nice. I think I'm going to enhance that a bit with my 005 zig. This is a really fine line. I just use it on special occasions like that. Okay, we got that. Let's go in again with our lightest warm gray and add kind of a shadow there and a little bit of a shadow there. And I feel like we should, something's missing. What is missing? Something is missing. I need to add something to this. It's just kind of plain Jane sitting here like that. Let's put in another eyeball. Nope, not another eyeball. We need something different. How about like, like a fly or something. It doesn't quite look like a fly. Those wings were wrong. But there we go. Something like that. Let's not go around it with the 8. That's just a little too thick for this guy. Here, let's bust the 3 out, see if it really is out of ink. Not really out of ink. I don't know what I'm doing with the wings here, but I did it. This is an example of, you never know if you're going to just ruin something. I mean, I'm not saying it's ruined, but I sure don't like this character. Not the overall character, I'm talking about the fly. I feel like I should have researched what a fly looked like, because this is not very fly-like. But we're going to color it in with the darker of my grays. And we're going to give it some, let's give it some bright wings. What color? B714. I like these names. They're so generic. It sounds like the name of a clone or something. B714. 714. Volunteer duty. Alright. my paint pen, which I need to maybe get a different paint pen, because this one doesn't seem to really interact well with stuff I draw. But it also does other things that I like it soaks in and kind of just lightens up some areas, which is nice. I just want one that I can use more for adding a really bright spot and not having it soak in. Like right here would be super handy. So what I do with that is I go in with my 005 and I kind of add in a little line there. So you can fix everything with a little line. Look at that. Oh, that's pretty cute. I feel like maybe these eye holes should be darker. Or maybe I should be doing in some like squiggly lines right here. Squiggly is a word. I just don't know how to spell it so that you guys can look it up. So good luck. Let me know if you find it out there. Urban Dictionary doesn't count. It's got to be Webster's or something. There we go. Yeah, this is my gray I want. That will blend in, I hope, and not look like some dark area towards the bottom. Yeesh. Let that soak into the paper a little bit. Not sure what that loop is at the end of my head here, or brain, so we're going to fill that in with darkness and make it just part of the overall shadow area. Okay, there we go. Check it out. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.